Don't forget, you can reach the latest episode of Potomac Watch anytime. Just ask your smart speaker, play the Opinion Potomac Watch podcast.
From the opinion pages of the Wall Street Journal, this is Potomac Watch.
Welcome back. I'm here with Alicia Finley. We're talking about Texas's new law on immigration and deportation. Alicia, how long do you think it will take to have this issue get up to the court? And are we likely to see some sort of immediate injunction on it? And are we likely to see any other states follow in this path, even ones that are not necessarily on the border? You saw a number of states send their national guards to go help along the border. We've seen governors like Ron DeSantis taking migrants that have come across the border and landed in Florida and shipping them to other parts of the country. Do we think that this is going to have any knock-on effect with other organizations? And how do you think that this might affect the politics of immigration that we're having right now as a discussion at the national level?
So I think that is almost a concern that you could have other states passing similar laws, because the Republican states actually, you can see this in various areas. They like to copy each other on these issues. Republican governors see that, a certain law is popular somewhere and they take it up in their own state, for better or worse, to be honest, because you've seen that with the education choice movement, where it's kind of caught on, it's become a bit of a trend. So I could definitely see some other states, Florida, DeSantis, they already actually passed a law, I believe earlier this year, making it a crime for employers to hire undocumented immigrants and not verifying their status. But I could equally see them now passing a new law modeled on the Texas law if it's not immediately blocked. Now, it could take a while to actually get up to the Supreme Court on a merits review. The question is if it's immediately blocked, which I think it will be based on the Arizona precedent, even though this is going to be heard in the Fifth Circuit, where the district judges and the appellate judges tend to be more conservative. I still believe that it'll be blocked. And then if it's appealed up to the Supreme Court on its quote-unquote emergency docket, does it act? And I don't think they do. I think they let the injunction stand and then for a full merits review. So I don't actually think that the court would hear the case for another, maybe year or two. In the meantime, Congress has actually been trying to negotiate a compromise on increased immigration enforcement in return for Ukraine aid. And the Senate was getting closer to a compromise before they left town this week. And where the focus should be is on Congress, because really immigration is primarily a responsibility of the federal government. And to some extent, Texas is letting Congress off the hook in a way by deflecting pressure to close some of the loopholes in the asylum system that had been exploited, but also to increase really funding for enforcement at the border. And one of the problems is there just isn't detention capacity to detain and keep some of these people who are crossing the border until they get their hearings. And there also just aren't enough immigration judges. So there's just a huge wait. I think the backlog, there's like almost 3 million cases still waiting to be adjudicated. And that just increases the incentive to come here illegally, because that once you get in, essentially you don't have to show up for a hearing for at least several years, maybe 7 or 8 at this rate. In the meantime, you can work, and many people don't even end up showing up for the hearings.
I think you make a really great point on the politics. The policy argument, we can debate that, the question of federalism and supremacy, and even, the claims of civil liberties issues. But the politics, it strikes me, this is not a very wise move on Texas's part for a couple of reasons. One, as you mentioned, right now where all the focus and pressure has been on Congress and the need for the Biden administration to act. The Republicans have spent about 6 weeks now trying to get it through the thick heads of the other side that changes at the border are going to be necessary if the president wants his Ukraine funding. And that message finally seems to have gotten through. And while Congress did leave to go off for a Christmas holiday, negotiators in the Senate have been working. They've got some provisions, at least in theory. They were trying to get them down on paper. That is further than the U.S. Congress has come in a very long time on any kind of substantive change at the border. The other reason, too, is just that the storyline prior to this Texas law was entirely about growing frustration and pushback within the Democratic Party, in particular among Democratic mayors and governors who are now themselves really feeling the pain of the Biden administration's poor immigration policies. And, so once again, the focus is kind of off them and instead on border states taking actions and whether or not they're legal, et cetera. Again, I understand why Texas might have felt it needed to act, if it nothing else, to try to demonstrate it's doing something for its own people. But I'm not quite sure from a political perspective that this was the right way to go. Alicia, that was fascinating on the legal substance of this and the historical comparison with Arizona. I thank you for that. We also thank our listeners for being with us here this week. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we will be back on Tuesday. You can email us at pwpodcast@wsj.com. And again, if you like the show, hit the subscribe button.